joined the Army right after I graduated from high school. My biggest factor for joining the Army was pretty much the Army offered the most money for college. At that time it was like $25,000 to join the Army and get that money for college. So that was really my biggest factor for choosing the Army over all the other services. Actual job while I was in Kuwait was Operations Sergeant Major, and basically we are a signal battalion, an expeditionary signal battalion, and what our job is to go into remote sites and remote areas and set up communications, tactical communications for initial comms for those particular sites until those sites can be upgraded to strategic communication sites, which offer higher bandwidth and more quicker communication services than what we can provide. One of the other big factors that really helped out is that the church that I attend, Harmony Hill, they put their services on online, so I could actually watch and be at the same church services that my family was attending at the same time that they were there. So I kind of bridged that gap a little bit, knowing that I was, watching the same services they were there watching, and every once in a while, I get to see the back of their head while they're standing. I was in the Gulf War actually in 1991, the Persian Gulf War, and that was about the only time that I really feared for my life, I guess, during my military service. And what it was a late night, and we were on a remote site, a remote communication site, and because we were in Saudi Arabia, in the city of Riyadh, and Iraq was actually shooting Scud missiles into the city of Riyadh, and because the missiles were coming directly at us, we couldn't see that the missiles were coming, but we had other remote sites that were like off to the flank of the way the missiles were coming in. And talking to those guys over the radio, they could actually see those missiles coming in from their site over to where we were, and that was about the only time. One landed probably 3-4 football fields away, loud thud. It wasn't really an explosion or anything like that, but with the Scud missiles, there's always the fear of biological warfare. So, they had us put on our protective suits and our gas masks and full on everything, and pretty much had to sit out there and just wait it out, hoping that, there wasn't any biological warfare or warheads that had gone off, and luckily that wasn't the case. So, but that was a pretty fearful night right there. If not me, who's gonna serve? So if anybody has that same mindset of thinking about, joining the service, if not you, then who's going to do it? I mean, somebody has to protect the rights of the American people and the American society, and continue to fight for those rights and privileges that all Americans have. And if nobody stands up and decides that I want to fight for these rights, I want to fight for these privileges that the American people have fought for all these years that we've been a country, then sooner or later we will lose those rights, we will lose those privileges, and America won't be the America that we all know and love right now. So if you're thinking about joining any of the military services, whether it be the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, even Coast Guard, like me, when I first got out of high school, didn't know what I was going to do with my life. Wasn't really sure that college was what I wanted to do, and maybe it was my immaturity at the time, but I knew that college wasn't right for me at that point in time. So I decided to join the military, get some experience, get some money for college, and if this if you're kind of on the wall about what you want to do when you graduate from high school, I mean, any of the military services is a good first step for you to take in order to gain some experience, gain some knowledge, some life experiences. That way when you do decide to go to college, it makes it that much easier, much better, because you do have those life experiences behind you. That college becomes more of, not really a necessity, but you know exactly what you want to do with your life. You're not going to college just because, hey, I got to go to college or graduate high school. You're going to college because you know exactly what you want to do,